Exactly what are we doing today?
I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the vent fans and the frames and the panel to replace the emergency hatches. I got 16 gauge sheet metal that I went to metal supermarkets for, and I had them cut it at 28 by 30. Then we ordered vent fan frames from Skoolie.com. It's just to reinforce the fan flange into the roof panel. And then we did the Amazon specials. They were really high rated. Everybody that had them only had good reviews on there. It was way less than buying one Max Air fan or Dometic fan. I didn't need anything super fancy for the roof. They are 10 speeds, rain sensing, they're auto open close, they've got remotes. They were pretty cheap compared to the other ones. But that's what we've got for the roof panels. They're just gonna replace the old emergency hatches. I've got to figure out where this frame is gonna live on this patch panel. And then I need to cut the hole for it. And then we can possibly get the vent fans up today. I've already got this one laid out for the rivet holes. I was just trying to figure out spacing and I don't know, trying to figure out where the holes need to go to hopefully get the best clamping force. We've got some high strength structural rivets for that. Some self tappers for the frame and the fans, and a bunch of caulking and sealing stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and figure out where this hole is gonna be, and then I might just throw this one on top of the other one and copy it. It's probably what I'm gonna do, honestly. So I've got the panel up and held in place. I went and took a paint pen, and I don't know if you can see it. I don't know. Anyway, took an orange paint pen and transferred down the old hatch lines. That way I've got a reference for the new vent fan hole. I'm gonna move it back off of this front a couple inches. So that's the plan now, is just to get the panel down and then transfer down the new measurements onto that. So like I tried to show inside the bus, I pulled the panel down, and these are like the reference marks that I marked from the old emergency hatch hole. I don't think the hatch was cut square into the roof. I don't know if you could see on the camera, the lines are not square. The edge of the panel was square to the rib though. So I just added an inch to it, and I've got a new line at 4.5. Then I just found found the center. I found the center of the Skoolie frame, and then I just double checked the frame corners to make sure that they were all square still. If you go this route, make sure to double check them, because they can shift a bit when they are being shipped. This one was more like diamond-y shaped than square. I'm gonna go ahead and just double check everything on this one, and if I'm feeling good about it, I will just cut it out. I'll transfer it to the other one. So it all fits. There's a little bit of play to kind of fine tune and adjust. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer everything from this panel onto this panel back here, and then I'll throw some paint on it. So I have both panels down here ready to go. They're smooth, sanded, got some of the mill scale taken down, and I've got some primer here. I'm ready to shoot these and get a coat or two on them. I've got to sand down the vent fan frame pieces from Skoolie and get some primer on those after these are done. And then I think we're done for now with the vent fan assembly pieces. So I've got the panels primed, a couple coats on each side, and then I've got the frames primed up now too. Tomorrow we should be able to hopefully get them up into each of the old emergency hatch holes. I think I'm gonna call it quits for tonight. It's like 11 o'clock.
The next day.
So I got the butyl down on the vent fan. I've got everything kind of lined up. So I guess I'll just feed the wires through the grommet on the frame and kind of just get it all into place. I've got some self-tappers with like the rubber washers on them. We're gonna use some caulking for them. The fan itself comes with some self-tappers or sheet metal screws. I don't think they're self-tapping, but I've got plenty of different screws or sealant type stuff to get this thing attached and in place where I want it. So quick little mess. Everything's lined up where it's supposed to be. I think the only thing left to do is just run screws in and get it all tight, and then we can get this one up onto the roof. So I have the vent fan assemblies flipped over now. I'm gonna go ahead and put the butyl sealant stuff on the actual panel. I'm probably gonna like double up along the edges, and then we're gonna caulk around the edges and the rivet holes and the actual like frame of the fan too. So try and make this thing as waterproof as possible. And then we'll get them up on top of the bus. But that's what I'm gonna do now, is just lay down all this adhesive sealant and get these things ready to go. So I think I've got everything up here now to go ahead and get this assembly into place. I'm going to pull all the tape, or the covering tape, whatever you want to call it, off of the butyl and see how good this Harbor Freight rivet gun works. I've got one in just to help locate in the back side of this, so I can set my distance from the frame off of, just to make sure it's square in the hole. But I think we're ready to get this thing in place. So after some fine tuning off camera for this rivet gun, I finally got 2 rivets in place to hold this thing in. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill out all the rest of the holes. Just finished up this first panel. It turned out pretty good. The air compressor was a pain in the ass, but the riveter worked good. The compressor just needs to put out as much pressure as it can to make the riveter run efficiently. I was able to do like 2 or 3 rivets before the compressor had to kick back on and fill completely up to run the riveter again. But that took quite a while. But I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. But it seems like it's pretty nice and sealed and strong. I guess time will tell. We're gonna go ahead at some point, probably before we paint the roof, and just caulk all of the seams and stuff, and the rivets and screws. But I figured there's no sense in doing it now because we're gonna go back through and sand the whole roof down and wash it all, and there's no sense in paint and caulking to sand over the caulk. So we're just gonna leave it like this for now. The panel's got a good coat of primer on it. So yeah, got to do the back one still. This one's done. I threw a little battery on there from my drill to test it out. I'm gonna go ahead and start this back one. I think I've got everything in place right now. I'm gonna go ahead and rip the little protective tape off of the panel assembly and then just start riveting it in place. So I got all the rivets in. It seems to be sealed up pretty good. I think we're done up here for now. We can start on, I think, the windows and the delete panels next up. So we'll call it for this, and we'll start another project.